I just finished listening to another one of Lindsey Williams' most recent presentations, probably from 2 days ago. Today is Monday, March 26th, 2012. It was on Alex Jones' show. And I don't want to put any title up on this video, Lindsey Williams or Alex Jones. I just put LWAJ. But because I don't want to draw too much attention to this, because I'm going to be pretty critical, because I think, well, they got their, let me put it this way, I think Alex Jones has a market niche and he satisfies something for somebody. I think he's, I don't know what he is. I have no idea. It reminds me of 100 years ago, to use that term, yellow journalism. It was very sensationalistic. It might have been partly true, but it was like, and it's no different today. I mean, they used to have the little papers they go around, and they were on a cheap paper, so they called it yellow journalism. Well, now you can just click a button and you can watch it on your computer. It's the same thing. That's what my opinion of it is. And I'm like, God, and I don't know what this Lindsey Williams guy is, but he reminds me of, you know, those 19th century preachers going around, whatever, you know, you see them on the movies and old movies and stuff. And I know they used to call them snake oil salespeople, but I don't know what this guy's about. But I want to highlight this article, if I'm permitted to. I think I am. I'm going to display the link below. It's from a common establishment, if you want to call that, the major media. Well, the major media is not so bad. I mean, people actually, there is a freedom of press, right? I mean, Alex Jones can talk, so this is from the Business Insider, right? And this guy Mike Snyder wrote the article about the economic collapse. Kind of along the same things that Lindsey Williams is talking about. But, you know, he's not giving out any secret information. I've been reading about all these different things for years. And I'm like, he gets on his show like he's got this blockbuster revelation. And I'm like, really? Gee. And you've never been wrong, huh? Well, I can tell you a couple things you've been wrong about. $150 to $200 a barrel oil sometime between June 2011 or May 2011 and October 2011. That didn't happen, except it hit $75 a barrel twice, and it didn't even go over 100. And $75 to $100 silver by the end of 2011. It hit like $27 a low, like that. I don't call those good calls, but you know, he's being billed as the guy that's almost never wrong. Well, I don't know. I haven't followed Lindsey Williams for a number of years or anything like that. I kind of heard of him. I paid attention to his oil prediction because he did have that right in 2008, and I said, well, that's pretty good. But you know, every time I look at it now, I have a very different viewpoint maybe than what his fans think. So anyway, this is from an establishment type thing, you know, not a Alex Jones type show. Whatever the heck he wants to do, fine. He sells his bumper stickers and end the world and stop the Illuminati. Anyway, 10 reasons for the rain the dollar is about to end. You know, what Lindsey Williams was talking about, and this is mainstream news. It's nothing like earth-shattering. I knew about this. China and Japan are dumping the U.S. dollar in a bilateral trade. And this is an excellent article. So they're not using it as the world reserve currency. The BRICS, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, plan to start using their own currencies when trading with each other. They already have been. You know, Brazil and China have already been doing that for more than a couple of years. And it's been going on between Russia and China too. Same thing. Yeah, here it is. The Russia-China currency agreement. That was another one. A growing use of Chinese currency in Africa, because China is actually moving into Africa, because Africa has a lot of natural resource that China doesn't have. China is a very commodity-hungry country with its industry that's coming on strong. And the place that's close besides Australia is Africa, but probably going to get better deals in Africa. The China United Arab Emirate deal. So In other words, they're going to ditch the U.S. dollar and use their own currencies in oil transactions with each other. It's not the Saudi people, it's the UAE, but still, it's making a dent, and all these things together, death by 1,000 cuts. Iran, obviously, you know what's going on in Iran. I think that's a lot to do with why they're also the big enemy, besides the real radical religious fundamentalist type things going on there. The Chinese Saudi oil relationship, who ports most of the oil from Saudi Arabia. It's not the United States, rather it's China. And you know, this is probably where elite are screwing up somewhat. Maybe I don't know what these guys are thinking. They should be working with me because I got more brains than they do, probably, but I usually do. The United Nations has been pushing for new world reserve currency. Yeah, that's been talked about a million times. The IMF has been pushing for a new world currency. Yeah, so you know, you can see the writing's been on the wall for years. It's been talked about. Yeah, and this is another thing. Most of the rest of the world hates the United States now. You know, that's true and it's not true. It is getting more and more against the United States. But, you know, you also got to look at some of the things that are, sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not true. It's also, you know, like you might look at a news place like Russia Today might put out a lot of stuff that's, you know, very critical of the United States, and it could be truthful, but, you know, the emphasis is all one way. I mean, you could do this with an individual. You could say, I'm going to highlight the bad aspects of an individual, and you say nothing good about what they do right, then all of a sudden an individual looks evil. So, I mean, you could do things with propaganda just the same way on a nation. So there's a lot of that garbage going on too, because I actually think a lot of other nations are quite a bit worse, and nobody's out to do anybody a favor. They're all out acting in their own self-interest. So the Western elite acting in their own self-interest too. One other thing, you know, when Lindsey Williams is talking about the derivatives, one thing is, you know, you can look this up on Wiki, and you know, I don't like getting into all this thing. These derivatives are so like complicated. I don't understand this stuff, to tell you the truth. But any news stories related to the ISDA, it's going to start telling it, giving you a heads up when there's going to be a problem with the derivatives. But you know, they've been talking about this derivatives bubble for years. So like when he's saying the world economy is going to implode when the derivative bubble breaks, yes, we know that. I know that. I mean, I knew that for years. And he's talking about the what do you call it? The U.S. dollar would be greatly devalued by the end of 2012, or you know, it would be kind of a shadow of its former self. But I think that is kind of obvious, because what I think is going to happen is China is going to revalue their currency basically, and you know, our political leaders are calling for this too, which is they'll say they'll want China to revalue their currency, but that's going to kill the dollar in the process. It's going to kill the dollar in the process. It's going to greatly affect the value of the dollar, and it's probably going to push the commodity prices up a hell of a lot, because China imports a lot of commodities. But, you know, I don't want to be too critical of this stuff, but you know, when I listen to these things like Alex, I never even heard of Alex Jones. I mean, I heard of him some years ago, but I never followed anything he said. Followed it for a little while, and I don't know what he's got. I could see why he's got some good stuff, because it brings out some things that major media doesn't. But you know, like for instance, you know, you can go to a place like this, the Business Insider, and read an article and read everything that Lindsey Williams told you that is an inside scoop from his elite friend, who probably read it in these pages someplace. It's not like it's a big secret. And you know, the whole thing with this whole charade I keep seeing on this stuff, it's like, if the elite have a secret, they definitely will not tell people what the hell the secret is. The game is, you don't tell anybody, keep your mouth shut, and you just execute the plan. That's what the hell it is. the fact that this guy is spilling the beans on all these things, like we're gonna betray the Saudi Arabians and we're gonna do this, and this has got to be a whole bunch of. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I mean, to me, when I look at Alex Jones and I look at this junk they're throwing on here, it's total BS. And I know I don't trust the major media too, but there is a free press out there, and you can go to a lot of different business-orientated publications and get accurate information. And it's not coming from some elite guy. I mean, you'll know it before Lindsey Williams ever said it. So, I don't know. I think my personal opinion, it's a bunch of garbage and it's yellow journalism. But I don't know. What do I know? But I just want to recommend that people read things like this and watch this. Google the ISDA, recent articles and stuff like that, because there might be some hints as to what's coming up. Maybe somebody will highlight what's coming up where derivatives are presenting a bigger and bigger problem. And I think they are in Europe. I think they are. And I think that might present a problem with the metals, and I'm short on the metals. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're going down a very slight amount today. But I could be wrong about that. But we'll find out, and soon enough. We'll find out soon enough.